What's the story now? Here, lads, did anyone see the Netflix documentary, The Perfect Neighbour? Well, if you didn't, on this week's Midweek Murders with Maggie, we are going to discuss a case that literally turned a simple neighbourhood dispute into a national tragedy, an international tragedy. A fatal shooting that sparked immediate outcry and put Florida's controversial stand your ground law under the microscope. We're talking about the killing of AJ Owens by her neighbour Susan. You see, to really understand what happened on June the 2nd, 2023 to AJ Owens, we have to go back 2 years. Back to a street in Ocala, Florida, where the tensions were simmering. And I mean simmering just beneath the surface. I mean real close to the surface. So, we're back in early 2021. You're down a housing estate and you've got houses one side of you and you've got a couple of apartments the other side with an empty piece of grass. So obviously enough, all the kids in the estate play on that empty piece of grass. But no, Susan had a problem with that, right? And she went on and carried on ridiculous. It can only be described as a barrage of complaints to the Marion County Sheriff's Office. She was hopping the phones out of it more than 48 times for pure trespassing, noise, profanity, threats being made towards her, all this here carry on. And when the shades would show up, like when the cops would arrive, she'd let on she was this perfect neighbour. She was the victim. El Softmate was the victim. She feared for her life. A few children playing out in the green, and she feared for her life. So when the cops go over and ask the children like, no, hold on for a second. She was swinging umbrellas at us. She was throwing things at us. She was flashing guns. She had roared and carrying on ridiculous at the children, all for playing. For 2 punishing years, she carried on ridiculous. Like the feud escalated. The police, they came, they went, they came, they went, but nothing, I mean nothing, could de-escalate the situation. And then whack-a-bam! One night it all exploded. Everything went pear-shaped. Not because they were all out hand-dragging or roaring and shouting or anything, no. All because AJ's 10-year-old son and all the wee kids were playing on the green, right? And the wee boy forgot his iPad or whatever device he had. He forgot that on the field and went over to get it before he went in for the evening, you know? There's where he finds Susan with the iPad in her hand and she throws it at him along with a pair of skates. Like, what's wrong with her? So, your wee fella runs home and tells the mother, obviously enough. And AJ, being a protective, furious mother like any other mother, is trying to understand what's after happening here. And she crosses the road to confront your one Susan. It's around 9 o'clock at night, right? And AJ and her wee 10-year-old son is standing outside a windowless metal door belonging to Susan's apartment. Now the wee child's standing beside her. And she raps the door, asking Susan, come out, I want to ask you something. Inside, Susan is making a 911 call for trespassing. Right? The minute she hung up the phone, she fired one single shot through that locked metal windowless door, straight into AJ's chest, in front of the little boy, in front of the wee child that was standing beside her. Your one Susan then goes on and makes a second call to 999 or 911, telling the dispatchers that AJ was trying to break her door down, that AJ was screaming threats at her, that she feared for her life. But later on, the evidence showed that there was no sign of attempted entry. Like there was no other damage done to that front door other than the bullet she was after putting through it. Like nothing supported her wee break-in story that she was trying to spin to everybody. That night, AJ collapsed in front of her 10-year-old child. Neighbours heard the shot, the screams of the child. One of the neighbours rushed over and started giving AJ CPR. AJ Owens died later on that evening in the hospital. A mother killed within feet of her son. The shooting sparked immediate outrage, but that's not what fueled national attention. It was the fact that Susan, she wasn't arrested that night. Like, she literally shot someone dead and she was not arrested. Because the authorities needed more time to figure out whether her crime fell under Florida's Stand Your Ground law or not. See that hesitation to bring her in? The protests erupted. Civil rights groups got involved and they demanded an arrest. 5 days later, after reviewing forensic evidence and this, that, and the other, the sheriffs publicly stated, quote, "Firing through a locked door is not justified under Stand Your Ground law." And you won Susan's lifted, finally. After nearly a week, she's lifted. And she's charged with a few charges. She's got battery, she's 2 counts of assault, she's culpable negligence, and she has manslaughter with a firearm. The trial goes on, and she's found guilty after a few short hours of deliberating. An all-white 6-person jury finds her guilty of manslaughter with a firearm. And in November 2024, the judge delivered a 25-year prison sentence. He cited the reckless nature of firing through a closed door. And the trauma inflicted on AJ's children, especially the wee boy, the son that witnessed the killing firsthand. Like, he literally was standing there when his mother got shot in the chest. But AJ's mother, Pamela, filed a wrongful death lawsuit on behalf of her daughter's estate. Basically, she's suing your one Susan and the landlord, accusing them of negligence and failing to secure the property. From a prison cell, your one Susan responds with a handwritten letter to the court, and in it she's still insisting that this was self-defense, that she acted in fear of her life. She claimed that the children lied about the roller skate incident. And here's one, not a fuck given. She is intending to countersue AJ's mother and 3 of her minor children for slander and defamation. Is she having a laugh? She's after shooting her mother and daughter in the chest, killing her dead, and she's suing these people. That's just mental. Lads, the case of the perfect neighbour is a devastating example of what happens when fear, racism, and unchecked hostility goes unchallenged, and when a gun turns a neighbourhood conflict into a death sentence. AJ Owens was a mother, a daughter, and a neighbour trying to protect her children, and her loss is a reminder of the fragile line between safety and danger, between conflict and catastrophe, between community held together or torn apart. Lads, will you try and look after yourselves until next week, and we'll dive into another case. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. Or here, throw it into your group chat.